Hey, welcome to Skills with Phil. Today, we're going to be looking at 10 more tricks you can do just about anywhere. Alternative title, 10 dumb tricks you can use to hurt yourself and damage your bike. Alright, but before we get into the tricks, I just want to make sure that you guys are all aware that some of these tricks are dangerous and it'd be stupid to try them without a helmet. So, when you're trying them, wear your helmet. Don't be a dum-dum. This first one comes from BMX. It's a fun way to remount your bike. Lean your bike over, and by placing your regular foot on the pedal and your back foot on the chainstay, you can pick your bike up by pulling on your handlebars and seat at the same time. Then just simply bring your leg over and get your hand back on the handlebar and ride away. Just be sure if you have the derailleur side up to be careful about where you place your foot so you don't damage your derailleur. Additionally, be sure to shift into easier gear before you lean your bike over. This way, when you remount the bike, it'll be a lot easier to ride away. If you're finding this trick too easy and want to challenge yourself even more, try doing this whole thing while never getting off your bike. You will definitely want to practice this on a soft surface such as grass because learning to lean your bike over gently can be rather tricky. This next one is a wheelie variation. It's essentially trying to get your bike as vertical as possible. To do this trick, you'll want a good set of rear brakes. Here I'm using the TRP slates, which are a quad piston hydraulic disc brake. You can do this with any kind of brake as long as they're adjusted correctly. Just like when doing a wheelie, you're going to need to punch your drivetrain to get your front wheel up into the air. And at the same time, stand up tall and bring your handlebars into your lap. Once your handlebars are in your lap, grab a fistful of your brake and see how long you can hold it. Now since you're up there already, you might as well give your front wheel a little kiss to show your bike that you care about it. Another wheelie variation is to dab your foot and swing your bike around. You don't need to be that good at wheelies to be able to do this. As long as you can hold your front wheel up long enough for you to drop your back foot, you should be able to do this. When you do this, the foot you drop on the ground sort of behaves like the pointy side of a compass. Swing your bike halfway around and then finish the spin by pushing off your planted foot. Try to aim to get your foot back on the pedal before your front wheel touches the ground. For this next trick, you're going to want to practice it using a bike that you don't mind damaging or scratching. Pop your bike onto its back wheel and then find its balance point. We're going to try to spin the bike around while it's bouncing on its back wheel, and then catch the handlebars before you drop it on the ground. There is a learning curve to being able to catch your handlebars, so practice this on grass because you're going to drop your bike a few times. You can do a less risky variation of this trick by leaving the bike in place and do the spinning yourself. Obviously, this doesn't really serve a purpose, but you can break this trick out when your friends least expect it. You can also use variations of this trick for fun Instagram photos, like this one which I posted the other day. Riding with no hands is one of the first tricks we all learn as kids, but it also teaches us some fundamental skills. Riding with no hands is a good way to get used to balancing and also learning how to turn without using your handlebars. Once you've mastered riding with no hands, you can see how far you can push your luck and just how good your balance is. I like to challenge myself and see what kind of terrain I can ride over with no hands. Well, riding with no hands is pretty basic, so we can do another trick which involves putting our feet on the handlebars and steering with our legs. This is one of the few tricks I'd recommend learning with a seat in the fully upright position. Similar to riding with no hands, riding with your feet on the handlebars will be easier to learn when you go faster. For better balance, be sure you keep your feet on the outside of the bars. This will make it a lot easier for you to steer and maintain balance while on the bike. Getting comfortable with taking your hands off the handlebars once your feet are there would take some getting used to. But once your feet are in place, there's really not much left to do, and honestly feels somewhat similar to riding with no hands. One of the hardest things about doing this trick will be getting your feet from the pedals to your handlebars. So when learning how to do this trick, it will be a good idea just to practice getting your feet on the handlebars and riding around. If you're having trouble getting your feet onto the handlebars, that may mean that your seat is too low. With that being said, there's a bunch of variations on this trick. Try standing on your seat and on your bars. And if you find that still too easy, well, you can try taking your hands off the handlebars while in that position. If you give that a go, hopefully you'll have better luck than I did. This next one isn't exactly a trick and it will also require a friend. It's a fun way to transport your friends from point A to point B if you only have one bike. Here I suckered my girlfriend Haley into being a co-pilot. If all goes well, you'll hopefully make it to your destination in one piece. Additionally, hopefully your relationship will also be in one piece. You can actually do the same thing, but this time let them sit on your seat. But this is actually harder than it looks, so it's actually easier just to do the handlebar trick. Have you ever been on a ride and noticed that your shoelace has come untied? Well, here's an easy way to fix that with some style. Do an endo by grabbing a handful of front brake and letting your back end come up. As that happens, let your butt slide off the seat and get your feet to the ground. All that's left to do is to pinch your handlebars with your lap and tie your shoes. From there, there's no real good way to get back on your bike, so you'll just have to waddle around for a while. This next trick is called a bike flip. By flinging the bike out in front of you and letting go with everything except for one hand, you can flip the bike around and catch it and remount. There's a few ways you can do this, but the way I do it is by keeping my grip a little bit loose so I can spin it while still holding on strong. Obviously, this isn't ideal, but it gets the job done. Alright, so that's 10 more tricks you can learn just about anywhere. If you like this video, be sure you share it with your friends, family, pet durables, or even your pet rocks. And if you want even more cool tricks you can learn just about anywhere, be sure you click the annotation above. As always, my name is Phil Metz. Thanks for playing bikes with me today, and I'll see you guys next time.